Hi guys, Andy Dramatic Aquatics. Just thought we'd do a video on blanketweed this time, which is an algae which just takes over your pond, horrible long stringy stuff, and then eventually it'll clog up your filters, your pumps, and all it is the algae just gives off spores which are in the air all the time. It lands on the water, and because of the nutrients that the fish are providing into the water, and because we've got no aquatic plants anywhere here, then it just causes the hair algae to grow. So we can see it down here in big clumps. What I'll do is I'll just get a little bit out just to kind of show you how bad this problem is. So there we go. This is just a quick drag on the bottom with the net. And that is extremely heavy, man. And that there, folks, is just hair algae, man. It is really, really bad. So I've let it grow deliberately. And the reason for that, why I haven't shredded, yeah, there's one bit, look. And let's see this side of the pond where the fish are. You can kind of see it, look, just clumping up like that straight away. And I can't even get the net to go all the way over. And look at that, man. Look how much is here. And that is extremely heavy. I can't even lift this basket from the very, very end. There we go. I'm not going to be able to see the fish soon. God, that's heavy. Extremely heavy. And sloppy. Will you look at all that, man? That is incredible. So the whole bottom of the pond is like this. And now we can see it's floating around like jellyfish. It actually looks quite nice when it's on the bottom, like nice big fluffy clouds. Look, I've caused a bloom over there, look. So we'll try and get a little bit out just by using the net. See if I can drag that a bit further this way. Yeah, look at that, man. This is hair algae at its best, this is. Yeah, but the reason why I wanted to let this stuff grow was so we could try out a product which I have almighty great faith in, which is called Blanket Ansat, which is from Cloverleaf. My good God. Oh shit, I think I've got a fish. Pardon the French there, folks. Like I say, this is one healthy pond for algae anyway. I'm going to get covered as well by the looks of things. It's coming out in absolute clumps. I was going to quickly get a little bit more out. So I've managed to take a little bit of the stuff out. Well, actually, quite a lot, look. I mean, this stuff here is completely, I'm talking like thick sludge, man. Look at that, that is incredibly beautiful as far as algae goes. But at the same time, it can be a bit of a nightmare. Like I say, it's using the oxygen in the pond, it's using up all the nutrients that's in the pond, it's growing. Fish don't really like to eat it, or even if they are eating it, they're just not eating enough. So I've dragged all of that out. You can hardly see in the pond, we can still see where the fish are. You know, it's not too bad. I've already switched off the UV now. So now we've switched off the UV. All these bits that's hanging in the water, hopefully over the next couple of days we should be able to see. I mean, I'm just pulling this out, you know. That's how bad it really, really is. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick in. I'm just going to check the filter first. This is a filter box with no mechanical filtration other than the UV. We can see it's getting up. This is the overflow part just here. And as you can see, it's running quite high. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to wiggle this pot here. And all that does is just a tiny little bit of vibration like that. And it just moves things around to put whatever crap's under there. There you can see the water levels dropping again now. So there we go. So that's the water running through the filter now. So don't have to worry about that again. There is lots of little worms and little larvae and stuff in there which is munching away underneath. But you can see even up in the filter here, again, it's the dreaded hair algae. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this stuff, and this is the blanket answer. Now this camera's not going to focus in, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link so you can have a look at the price of this stuff, and you can also read exactly what's in it and how this stuff works. But basically what you do is you mix this in a watering can and then you spread it around your pond. With my filter running into this bit, which gets siphoned out, this is my watering can. So I'm going to use this part of the pond just to mix the blanket answer up. So here we're going, just going to sprinkle it. It may turn the pond white. Oh, it's very, very windy, as you can see. So I'm just going to bang that in. I know there's 22,000 litres in my pond. Each one of these tubs does 10,000 litres. So that is 2 tubs I need to use. But what I found with this stuff in the past is you do it 1 year, the year after doesn't seem to need doing. You can see there it's turned all the water in this top pond completely white. I'm going to bang the other tub in. Could have done with a bit of a less windy day for this job, but it needs doing because it's starting to take over. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to mix it now. Giant big mixing bowl, that's what this is, and then it'll go over the waterfall down into the pond, and you can already see, look, the blanket weed up here as well. And what it does is, I've always found, if memory serves, is it turns everything white and very, very dusty looking, and then it literally just after a couple of days the pond will go clear, the stuff will still be white, the blanket weed, and then it'll just turn to dust and drop off. So that's a little bit mixing done for now. And if we just have a look over at the pond, we can see it's starting to turn foggy. So I'm going to use this opportunity to also look at the flow of the pond and which direction the water's in, just out of curiosity, because this little waterfall changes the directional flow, and we can see there it's getting pretty much everywhere. Now we can see most of the pond is actually turning a beautiful sort of turquoise colour, and it's actually just mixing in. It's getting right up to the edges. I can already see it resting on this algae. There we go. Not sure if the camera's picking that up, but it is, and it's coming right the way along. But what I need to do is just keep an eye on the fish for oxygen levels. If you've got sturgeon or off, I would definitely recommend that you have an air stone in there. As you can see, this pond is completely still white. It just needs a bit more mixing up. So I'm just going to get in there with a brush. Also wash your hands after use, and we can see there where it's been sitting on the bottom. So all I'm doing is just using this as my mixing can. But it also just puts little bits in nice and steady. It makes it very, very handy for me, like I say, to mix that amount up in water. There we go. So hopefully that's it all mixed up this time. You can see it's just putting a thicker solution into the main body of water now. So this is going to stay like this for a few days. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and we're going to have a look tomorrow. And then I thought, while I've got the pond mixed up, why not nick a little bit for the water feature as well? So you can see in the bottom, because this should make a great example, we can see all the hair algae there. And it's covered all the way along the bottom. This is just rainwater, this pond is. It's actually an old jewel tank, 240 litres I think, or 260. You can see the hair algae in the bottom there. I was going to get some shrimp to put in, but it's probably going to grow quicker than the time to put the shrimp in. So we'll get it maxed out with this stuff, hopefully. But we'll be able to watch this, what the chemical actually does, from a front on view instead of it just being at the bottom of a pond. So that's day one. We'll have a look at this one again. Well, it's been exactly 24 hours and the water is a beautiful turquoisey green sort of colour. Really is nice, and it's really showing off the colours of the fish as well. especially the orange ones. Very, very murky, very misty. Like I say, when the fish come up the top, you see them and they're having no problem with it whatsoever. The actual algae is already starting to turn to dust, or it's just covered in dust anyway, but it's only been 24 hours. So like I say, over the next few days hopefully that'll turn grey and just drop off. It does seem to leave a lot of residue about, but I'm sure that's possibly going to be a good thing. So it's working on the whole surface for the amount of time it needs. So while that's been doing that, and over here we'll put a little bit in there. We can see just the dust sitting on top at the moment. You can see just how much dust is, or how much hair algae there was, because that dust is actually stuck to it all over him, and you couldn't even see that hair algae in there the other day. And while I'm waiting for the water to clear, I thought I'd do a little bit of tree decoration. So there we go, some masterpieces on the way. I think he's going to be a little alien dude. That's the country manor sort of thing. And this is one that went wrong, not a clue what it is. From this angle it's got a big heart, so I might call it the Tree of Love. But anyway, we'll come back and have a look at how the pond's doing again in another 24 hour. And so this is day 3. Actually missed out day 2, so we've had 24 hours in, and then this is like kind of 3 days later, so 70 odd hours. And looking at this stuff, it is looking very, very pale. Yeah, bugger, yeah. The fish jumping at us. So it is looking pale, but it's not ready to come off just yet. But the water is looking a lot clearer. And those fish are right at the bottom down there. So it's looking a lot clearer, but still no signs of the stuff actually dying off, other than it's gone white. And over in this tank, you see it's still there, it's just very, very dusty. So I hope that that will start to break itself down over the next day or two. But for definite, it's stopped growing. So we can see over here, there it is, but it is covered in dust now. Like I say, after 3 days, it's looking like it is going to be dying off. And there is a lot of residue here as well, extremely white. So we'll come and have another look tomorrow. So this is day number 4, and everything's nice and clear, the water. However, we can see lots of the blanket weed now. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up or not. Like, let's have a look. Lots of bits floating around now in there. So we can see it's starting to break away in various different places. Some more there. Probably see it better where the light is. You can see at the bottom of the pond is the fish as well. That's at the bottom of the pond. So the water really has cleared up. I mean, I was messing around there taking a bit of algae out to start with. Then we couldn't see anything, but the turquoisey colour's now gone to a deep green. But we can see the fish in the other side of the pond, no problems. And no casualties, so this stuff seems to be really, really friendly. Not harm the fish in any way. Like I say, if I had some sturgeon in there, or maybe some morph, I would have been tempted to put an air stone in there and get the old pond pump running again. And over here we can see on that branch again, it is starting to die off already. Definitely stopped growing. What I'll do is probably tomorrow is give this bit a clean out, and then we'll see what materialises from that. But there we go, day number 4. And here we are, day number 5. The water's still clear, however I can now see lots and lots of little bits just floating around, which are breaking away from the sides. So this is just day number 5. If I do that, and then there is loads of little crappy bits absolutely all over the place. So this stuff is working absolutely amazing. Not sure if the camera's picking those bits up. Let's have a look. But they are coming off like dust, and then obviously going round, going through the pump, there, up into the filter box, and then stuck up in the top. And if we look at the same bit that was all clumped up yesterday, you can see there's not as much on that stick now as what there was, so it is going backwards, starting to die. Look at that, man, incredible. But the little tank, which is over here, so in here we've still got the hair algae, but it is white, so I'm sure that the next day or two, but there's no flow in this tank whatsoever. It is just for Daphnia, usually tadpoles, but there's none this year. I'll be putting some sticklebacks in there soon. So once that hair algae's gone, hopefully, because it just looks unsightly. Looks nice if it would stay within 3 inches of the bottom, it would look lovely, but it doesn't. But not to worry, I'm sure over the next couple of days it'll be gone. And here we are, day number 6, and the fish are all happy, but the water has gone foggy. More like a green sort of murkiness, so I've actually put the UV back on now. And the algae itself, it's still there, but it's nowhere near the 6 inches like it was when we started. But if you do this, you can actually see all the bits coming off there. There they go, just turning into little particles of dust, and then obviously going into the filtration over here. So it's definitely doing the job. Over here on that green branch, you can see it's actually a green branch now. There is very little hair algae on there. There's still a tiny little bit hanging. Probably take that off. No, it's just dying immediately. So yeah, it's just like a dust, and then all I'll do is I'll just quickly siphon it, and then all that muck there, as you can see, just comes straight off with no effort whatsoever, and that's that done. However, in the water feature, as you can see, we've still got the bloody stuff. So up there we can still see it hanging, and it's still kind of looking greenish. However, I didn't make a proper solution for this one. I literally just nicked the watering can out of the pond probably about 2 hours after I'd initially put it in, so that might have some reason for it not doing its job properly. But we'll keep an eye on it for another week, and then I'll dose again. So that is your blanket answer, which is made by a company called Cloverleaf, and it is just full of unique blend of minerals and enzymes, but it is really good stuff. So I will find a link to the Amazon, so if you want to see how much this stuff is, what it contains, where you can get it from, I will put a link on for the UK and for America. And of course, if you're anywhere near us, come and see us at the shop. We'll keep this stuff in stock. It's the only one I keep in stock for this, because I know it works. I use it every couple of years. So that's it for the blanket answer. However, coming up in the next pond video, we'll have an update on how clear that little tank is over there, how clear the big tank is, and we've also got this bad boy to install. And that there is going to be an inverted tank, and it stands an incredible 60 inches. And that there is going to be on a 30-inch stand, which is going to go in the pond, and then we'll have that, so it should go up about 90-inch in total from the bottom of the pond. So it should be about the same height as the top of the window there. Fantastic. And if it works, we'll get it moved down to work. We don't know if it's going to implode, explode, work, fall over, or what. Never seen one quite this big. So hey, this is glass that we had lying around, and then we only had to get one more piece of glass for it. We will see how it goes in the next video. So for today, folks, thanks for watching, thanks for liking and subscribing. See you soon. Good night.